Thumbs up! The travel makers are on TV again. At the end of September we got to our final destination, Istanbul in Turkey. Since we were raising funds with our hitchhiking trip during the summer for the Syrian refugee project called Small Project Istanbul, we first of all wanted to give you, and especially our supporters, a quick insight about the situation of Syrian refugees in Istanbul. Due to this reason, I met up with Elif Gündüzyeli from the NGO Hayata Destek, in English, Support to Life, which is one of the biggest humanitarian agencies in Turkey working in disaster risk reduction.
Yeah, the number for Istanbul is not very solid. Like, according to the mayor, it was announced that there were 67,000 Syrians in Istanbul. However, according to the field assessments of these different organizations, it's around 350,000. Shelter is the biggest problem right now, because in the camps, like in the official government camps, there are around 220,000 people living in the camps, and the camps have reached their capacity. So there are like triple the amount of people, or maybe 4 times the amount of people who have to find the shelter outside the camps. So that's the major problem right now, as the winter is coming as well. The choice of not being in the camp is kind of understandable from a point of view, because women with children, they don't want to be inside the camps at all, because it's usually a male-dominant area. Like, a camp is a male-dominant place, and some people just don't choose to get registered because they don't want to be labeled as Syrians getting registered in Turkey. Now we're getting to the 4th year of the Syrian war, and the number is increasing, and since the Syrian statute is not that clear, they get a lot of discrimination from the host communities as well. Turkish people starting pointing with fingers at Syrians and saying that, like, oh, they're like a big burden and they're beggars or whatever. In the border cities, you see that even the Turkish people, or people living in Turkey in the border cities, they also have unemployment problems. They also are in the grey economy. And then you have these thousands of people coming in and sort of taking their jobs, as they say, because they just need whatever money. So Syrians work for 10 liras a day instead of a Turkish who would work for 50 liras a day. If there are no social and legal measures taken, it will be a bigger problem.
I had a meeting with Siba and Muhammad from Syria. They both live here in Istanbul, needless to say why. Siba is here for already more than a year, doing an internship at the moment with the intention to stay as long as necessary in order to get back to Syria when the situation will allow it one day. Muhammad is on his way to Germany and needed to sort out his visa issues here. Parts of his family are already in Germany, and he badly wants to continue with his studies in economics, of which he was forced to interrupt.
At first, because I couldn't speak Turkish, I had to be in touch with the Syrians.
The first 8 months, actually, I stayed at home. I didn't go out. I didn't see anybody because I was like in a terrible situation. I was so depressed.
I know a lot of people who tried to go to Mersin, to the cities near the Syrian borders, but they all came to here. I saw them. They told me Istanbul is better because there's a lot of work here and it's a touristic city, so a lot of people came here to work.
My impression is that the majority of Syrians here is the poor people.
And a lot of Syrian people now in Turkey, they changed the way they look and they start to speak Turkish. They just want to forget about the situation in Syria and just get involved in the society here in Istanbul.
People think that they would have lots of opportunity there, so that's why people are coming to these big cities where they think that they will find a job or something, but it's not the case.
I don't think that people who stayed here will go back, because they will go back and they will find nothing.
Yes, I am a refugee. At first I didn't want to accept that, but obviously yes, I am, because I left my hometown because of the war, so in a way I'm a refugee.
now I think Turkey has to accept that Syrians are not guests. Like they didn't come to have some tea, you know, like they came because they're running from a war. Most of the Syrians are hoping to go back, really. I haven't met any Syrian like being on the field who says that no, we're not going to go back, we'll stay here forever.